What if I told you that for the most successful LEGO investors, making money is the least interesting part of the whole deal? While everyone else is busy talking about ROI and flipping sets, they're playing a completely different game. You've probably seen the headlines about LEGO sets outperforming gold and stocks, and your mind immediately jumps to profit margins and percentages. We all picture warehouses stacked with sealed boxes treated like dusty stock certificates. But that's just a tiny piece of the puzzle. That's the what. But it's not the why. Today, we're gonna dive into the secret mind of a LEGO investor to find out what really makes them tick. From the psychological thrill of the hunt to the deep satisfaction of building a collection that means something, we're going to explore the hidden drivers that separate a casual reseller from a LEGO investor. This isn't just about buying low and selling high. It's about understanding the heart of the hobby. By the end of this, you'll see your own collection in a completely new light. And if that sounds like a journey you want to be on, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. For so many LEGO investors, the journey starts in the exact same place, the past. One of the biggest psychological drivers behind collecting is pure, uncut nostalgia. For many adult fans of LEGO or AFOLs, these bricks are basically little time machines. They aren't just buying a set, they're buying back a piece of their childhood. Just think about it. That classic Space Police set from the 80s or the Black Knight's castle from the 90s, to an investor, these aren't just assets. They're cultural artifacts loaded with emotion. The feeling of nostalgia is the engine that powers the entire secondary market. A collector might spend hundreds, even thousands on a retired set, not just because it's rare, but because it fills a hole left over from their childhood. Maybe it was the one set they always wanted but never got. Or maybe it was a favorite that was lost to time, sold at a garage sale, or just broken apart and tossed into a big bottomless pit of bricks. When a LEGO investor looks at a vintage set, they don't just see a 200% return. They see the box art that blew their mind as a kid. They remember the feeling of tearing open that box on Christmas morning. This deep emotional connection is why so many sets are held on to, cherished, and eventually become so valuable. It's not a transaction, it's a reunion. And that's the first secret of the LEGO investor's mind. They get what you can't put a price on, recapturing a piece of your own story. The money is just a side effect. Alright. So there's a big misconception. The idea that serious LEGO investors keep everything in sealed boxes, gathering dust in a climate-controlled bunker. While some do, many of the most successful investors are also passionate builders. And this brings us to a cool psychological quirk that's called the IKEA Effect. It's a fancy term for a simple idea. We place a much higher value on things we helped create ourselves. And building LEGO sets is the perfect example for this. Spending hours, maybe even days, following instructions and watching a complex model come together piece by piece gives the final creation a personal value that goes way beyond its market price. Because you put your own time and focus into it, it becomes yours, in a way a sealed box never could be. This is why you hear a lot of collectors talking about buying two of a priced set, one to rock and one to stock, one to build and enjoy and one to keep as an asset. For these investors, the joy of building is a huge part of the reward. Modern adult LEGO sets are incredibly complex with thousands of pieces and brilliant engineering. The process is a form of mindfulness, a way to de-stress and just unplug from the daily chaos. When an investor builds a set like the massive Daily Bugle or the intricate Ninjago City Gardens, they are not just putting a toy together, they're engaging in a relaxing meditative practice. The secret here is that the process is just as valuable as the product. The investor who gets this also knows that a set's true worth isn't just in rarity, but the experience it delivers. Beyond nostalgia and the joy of the build, there is another powerful, almost primal drive at work: The thrill of the hunt. The secondary LEGO market is a wild, fast-moving world, and for a lot of investors, navigating it is a game. It's about spotting that diamond in the rough, predicting which sets will become the next big thing, and grabbing them before they retire and the prices go nuts. This is where things like FOMO, or the fear of missing out, and the urge to complete a collection really kick in. In LEGO's strategy of retiring sets, a built-in scarcity, and that lights a fire under collectors. When you hear a major set like the Leonid's Castle is retiring at the end of the year, the race is on. Can you find it on sale? Can you get it before it's gone for good? That chase can be just as exciting as the build itself. Investors get really good at this game. They track retirement lists, watch for sales, and scour online marketplaces like Bricklink. And get this, Bricklink is actually owned by LEGO itself. They bought it in 2019 not to juice the investment market, but to better connect with adult fans and support the community. They're not just sitting back and waiting for the value to go up. They're active players in a global treasure hunt. There's a real rush that comes from finding an underpriced retired set at a flea market or acting on a tip about a limited run. That gotta catch 'em all impulse, the desire to own every set in a series, like all the modular buildings or all the Ultimate Collector Series Star Wars ships, is another huge motivator. It's like a puzzle where some of the pieces are incredibly hard to find. The satisfaction of finally completing that collection is immense. This is a secret of the hunt. For many investors, the strategy and the challenge of finding the set is the reward. The financial gain is just how you keep score. So, if any of this is starting to sound familiar, that pull of nostalgia, the satisfaction of a finished build, or the buzz of finding a rare set, then you're already on your way of thinking like a LEGO investor. And if this is hitting home, go ahead and click that subscribe button to join our community. We get into the deeper side of the brick here every week. Nobody invests in a vacuum, and that's especially true in the LEGO world. The global community of adult fans of LEGO is a massive, tight-knit network that plays a huge part in the investing scene. For many, this isn't about hoarding boxes alone in a room. It's about becoming a respected curator within a passionate tribe. AFOL communities, whether they are on online forums, in local LEGO user groups, or at huge conventions like BrickOn, are where the culture happens. In these groups, investors share what they know, talk about trends, and show off their collections. A wall of rare Star Wars sets or a complete street of modular buildings isn't just a portfolio, it's a badge of honor. It shows you're dedicated, you're an expert, and you have a real love for the hobby. It earns you social street cred. This sense of community is a powerful motivator. Investors often aren't just piling up assets, they're building a legacy. They get known for their niche. Maybe they're the person with the most complete Bionicle collection, or an expert on the early LEGO train sets. They become curators, preserving a piece of LEGO history and sharing it with others. That role gives them a sense of purpose that you'll never find on a spreadsheet. And you know what's really cool? Is how diverse the LEGO community is becoming. With groups like adult female fans of LEGO carving out their own spaces and bringing fresh perspectives to the hobby, the secret of the curator is this. Value isn't just about money, it's social, it's cultural. Building a respected collection is about adding to a shared passion and finding your place in a worldwide community. How does all this psychology, the nostalgia, the joy of building, the thrill of the hunt, and the community add up to those incredible financial returns we keep hearing about? This is the final and most important secret of a LEGO investor's mind. Passion is the ultimate cheat code for profit. You probably heard the stats. Market studies have shown that select retired LEGO sets and themes have appreciated at an average rate of around 11% annually, outperforming many traditional investments. But this isn't a guarantee across every single set. Sets like the original UCS Millennium Falcon or the very first modular building, the Cafe Corner, have seen their values absolutely explode. But these results aren't just random luck. The most successful investors aren't finance bros who just happen to stumble into Lego. They are die-hard fans who use their passion as their biggest advantage. Because they're driven by nostalgia, they have a gut feeling for which themes have a lasting emotional pull. Because they love to build, they know which sets offer a better experience and design. And because they're plugged into the community, they have a finger on the pulse of what people actually want. Their passion is what fuels the endless hours of research it takes to tell a good investment from a great investment. They understand a set's value is tied to its story, its place in pop culture like Star Wars or Harry Potter, and its place in the heart of its fans. This is where feeling and logic come together. An investor might see a set like the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels retire, knowing the passion of that specific fanbase predicted could see a massive jump in value. They balance their emotional connection with a smart, disciplined read of the market. They don't just succeed in spite of their love of Lego, they succeed because of it. So, what's really going on in the secret mind of a Lego investor? It's a place where finance and feelings aren't fighting each other, they're working together. It's a mind that gets that a single Lego set can be a toy from your past, a mindful escape from your present, and a real asset for the future, all at the same time. It's a mindset not just driven by profit, but by the powerful pull of nostalgia, the quiet satisfaction of creating something with your own hands, the adrenaline of the hunt, and the feeling of belonging to a global community. The financial return, as nice as it is often just a happy side of a much richer, more personal journey. It's proof that the things you love can also be valuable. The real investment is in joy, creativity, and a passion shared by millions. So, I'm gonna leave you with a question. What's the one set in your collection that means more to you than its price tag? And why? Share your story in the comments down below. I'd love to read them. Thanks all for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share. I'll see you in the next video.